Cloudy sky, but dry track. Here is our list of candidates. Juan Casella, Pedro Cardoso, Rafael Reis, Juan Ángel Rosso, and Matías Rossi. All of them Pedro Cardoso is here. Matias Cravero is here. This is Dario Ramonda from Toyota Team Argentina. And here we have Pedro Cardoso and Matías Rossi locking up front row. This is Juan Ángel Rosso, who alongside Rossi row from farther back in the standings. Rosso with a miracle chance. We have a grid with 14 cars ready for today's race. 2 races we'll have. This is our standings contestant, Pedro Cardoso. He led, as we said, most of the season, but has dropped back a little bit in the last rounds, as Juan Manuel Casella arrived to the lead of the standings in the last rounds. And in second row, we have Rafael Reis, the 5th candidate who arrives in 3rd in the standings. As numbers give chances to the top 5, but certainly with 70 points at stake today. 75 points, remaining. It's really tricky for Juan Ángel Rosso, and especially for Matías Rossi, but races finish when the checker flag falls, says the man that gave the name to this circuit to Juan Manuel Fangio. Here's Leonel Pernilla, the Argentinian, who arrived in mid-season and with a very, very strong pace since his very first minute in here.
Muy buenos días a todos los amigos de Argentina y de Uruguay. Buen día para los amigos de Brasil.
We'll hear from our pit reporter Mariano Colombo.
Carrera número 1 en este Gran Premio Paladini, que puede definir un
Paladini
campeón
Grand Prix.
en esta primera carrera, porque en caso de que Pedro Cardoso, que está segundo en el
If
campeonato,
Pedro Cardoso
a 3
here
puntos
wins,
de Juan Manuel Casella, gane la carrera y Juan Manuel Casella no la
and
pueda terminar, se
a
va
retirement
estar
from Juan Manuel
coronando
Casella
campeón.
will give the
Vamos a
title
intentar hablar
to
con
Pedro Cardoso
justamente
right
se acaba de
now
subir
in
al
this
auto, un auto que al igual que el resto de la parrilla tuvo que hacer un cambio en
in
la
this
puesta
race.
a punto, pensando en que estaba pronosticado lluvia, pero vamos a
Some
aprovechar
cars
para preguntarle a Pedro aquí a punto
last minute
de
changes in the
largar
setup
las
as we have a
sensaciones
rain
en
forecast for
una
today.
carrera que
Pedro
puede
Cardoso,
llegar
we'll hear
a
from him.
coronarte para el TCR Sudamérica Banco BRB. ¿Cómo estás, Pedro?
Pedro, you have the chance to be champion in this race.
É isso. Tem uma chance, né, de ganhar o campeonato já agora, mas não estou preocupado com isso. Eu tenho que fazer o meu, quero ganhar a corrida.
We got chances, but I have to do my race.
Enfim, estou muito feliz chegar aqui, como eu estava falando.
I'm very happy to arrive in this situation.
É o resultado de muito trabalho durante o ano, né? Não é só.
This is the result of loads of work throughout the year.
É uma junção de coisas, é a junção de um trabalho muito bem feito e agora a gente tem que aproveitar enfim.
We have to take our chances.
Com esse momento, se Deus quiser, eu vou conseguir.
Enjoy this moment.
Corrida, ou chegar no pódio, enfim, conseguir passar para a liderança. E aí a gente tem a corrida de tarde, que vai ser a definitiva.
Muchas gracias. Escuchamos
try
la palabra
to
entonces de
get
Pedro Cardoso.
To the title, said Pedro Cardoso, the 25-year-old from Brazil. We have the formation lap about to start. Here's Gali Dosman starting the race at the back. We have 14 cars for this last round of the season. Here's our safety car that will lead the pack last minutes prior to the formation lap beginning. And we go through now the formation lap. Let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. This is race number 1. We'll have Pedro Cardoso, who set pole position and got the last 10 points from Saturday into his personal account for PMO Racing. In second is Matias Rossi from Toyota Team Argentina with the Argentinian built Corolla. Leonel Pernia, teammate of Cardoso, will he play the team role? We'll see. He starts in third. Fourth place for who arrives in third to this title decider, Rafael Reis, still with a light of hope. Matias Cravero takes fifth, very consistent since his arrival to the tournament a handful of rounds ago. Rodrigo Baptista, his teammate from Squadra Martino, starts in sixth. Juan Angel Rosso, he arrives way behind, but still with mathematical chances of getting the title in seventh, starting ahead of Juan Casella, the standings leader, the man from Uruguay who has several teammates that will play in his favor likely when it comes to the race. Gali Dosman starts in ninth, and Fabrizio Pezzini from Argentina, the 2022 champion, joins for this last round. He starts in 10th. Fabian Gianantuoni is starting 11th. In 12th is Enrique Maglione, looking for the TCR trophy title. In 13th is Damian Fineschi from PMO Racing. And in 14th, and last, we have Tiago Vivacqua with the Toyota Corolla from Cobra Racing Team. This car's built in Argentina. And here we have the formation lap. We'll get to the start. We have Pedro Cardoso starting in the Peugeot in car number 43, Matias Rossi in second. We'll enjoy race number 2 later. Here are the cars arriving to the grid. Pedro Cardoso on the right of your screens, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francisco Auer. It's a pleasure to be with you for the title decider of TCR South America. Matias Rossi is on the left in the red Corolla, starting in second place. There is Thiago Iwaco in the last place of the grid, taking the start. Green flag is waving, and we are ready for the title decider. It's now time for racing in Rosario, and Cardoso burst of speed into the first place. Rossi takes second. Pernia will challenge the Toyota for second position. Matias Rossi in second, Pernia in third, and Rafael Reyes keeps fourth place. From behind him, Matias Cravero attacking on down the inside for fourth position, as Cardoso will arrive in the lead to the first braking zone, followed by Rossi, followed by Pernia. We'll see what Cravero does, who jumped up to fourth. Oh, Bautista runs wide. Rodrigo Bautista runs wide, and he has loads of grass in his radiator. He will have a struggle for the rest of the race, as here are the cars going through turns 1 and 2. So we have Pesini battling with Gali Dosman, the teammates of W2 Pro GP. Here comes Pedro Cardoso leading the race. Rossi is in second. Then we have the Peugeot of Leonel Pernia in third place. We'll have a look at where Juan Casella is located. He has moved up to 8th, I think, from 8th to 7th, as here is the back of the pack. Cardoso leading from Rossi and from Pernia. Contact between Fineschi and Fabian Gianantuoni. They are rubbing both cars, and we'll see what happens. Oh, Gianantuoni's off. Gianantuoni's off. I think he has trouble, yes. No more. It's game over for him in the first lap, as his rear suspension is broken. And we could have a safety car. That's Oscar Fineschi, the team owner and team manager of PMO Racing. As we have Rossi in second, I think we'll have a safety car. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there is Gianantuoni. Safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. Really adverse end of the season for Fabian Gianantuoni. Here is the replay. He breaks wide. He contacts there with Fineschi. And there it goes, his rear suspension. This is the replay. Possibly a bit rough from Fineschi, but that's a task for the stewards. There is gone the rear right suspension. Matias Cravero came into the pits. So we'll have a big shuffle up in the pack. Rosso is now up into fourth place. It will take a long way to take that car with a broken rear suspension back into the pits. Let's reorder the pack. We have Cardoso leading from Rossi, from Pernia, from Rosso. Now should be Rafael Reyes up into fifth, and Casella in sixth place. There is the Toyota Corolla number 5 from Gianantuoni, who is now back. We had Cravero going into the pits, so he's up in fifth in the standings on screen, but he has certainly dropped farther back. That would mean that should give us Reyes in fifth, Casella in sixth, Pesini in seventh, Osman in eighth, Fineschi in ninth, Maglione in 10th, Vivaco and Bautista. And Cravero back into 13th and last. That's how it should be. This is the twisty Juan Manuel Fangio circuit in Rosario City. An extremely twisty track. The very fast section. as Cardoso is coming out of turn 15. This is turn 16 and last. And we are back racing. Green flag again in Rosario. And we have 20 minutes of pure racing yet ahead of us. Cardoso leads the way from Rossi, from Pernilla, from Rosso. Race up into 5th. Casella in 6th. Trying to get and move up in the standings. Unluckily, he has no teammates to battle with him. That's a big shame for Casella, because Matias Cravero was his wingman for this race, and he's now back in the last place of the race. He will recover for sure, but won't be able to help his Uruguayan teammates. Pedro Cardoso defending from Matias Rossi, who attacks right from the very first moment after the green flag. This is turn 5. They are heading into turn number 6. This tight right turn. Turn 6 and then turn 7 here at the Juan Manuel Fangio circuit in Rosario. They're heading all the way to turn number 8. This is the way from 7 to 8. Then a double left-hander. Very tight as always, as every turn in this track in Rosario. That was the attempt here by Damian Fitneski, chasing Gali Dosman for 8th place in the standings. Cardoso certainly on a good business, jumping up to 442 points. Casella with his 6th place would be down to 426. That will be a 16-point gap for Casella, who will start farther up in race 2. Go on board with him. They are closing another lap. Six-tenths of a second, almost 7/10 of a second from Cardoso to Rossi. Pernilla is 1.3 behind. Juan Angel Rosso is 2 seconds behind the lead. Rafael Reyes attacking. He needs to overtake Rosso and try to catch Pernilla, but Pernilla will certainly play in favor of his teammate Pedro Cardoso. I wouldn't be surprised that he blocks a bit the way. Let's go with the leader. Nice ride on board with the new standings leader as far as now. I'm talking about Pedro Cardoso, who's leading the pack now. The gap keeps below a second. Matias Rossi certainly right on him. Would be a big help for Juan Casella if Rossi manages to overtake him as race goes over. Juan Angel Rosso for 4th place. He had no margin, the Brazilian, who was involved in a handful of incidents along the season and certainly lost a few points in the way. Juan Casella is right over Rafael Reyes. There is Cardoso and Matias Rossi chasing him for the lead of the race. We have 13 cars remaining. Matias Cravero managed to overtake Enrique Maglione. He will go for Thiago Vivacqua and Rodrigo Baptista. That is Pedro Cardoso. Go on board with Rosso in fourth. Juan Angel Rosso certainly lost some pace comparing to the top three. Lionel Pernilla very comfortable in third without Rosso in sight, but certainly clearly back behind Matias Rossi, who is still attacking Pedro Cardoso for the lead of the race, as here is Rosso in fourth position ahead of race. And the man who started the race leading the standings, Juan Manuel Casella, is down in sixth place, but he certainly seems to have not much of pace to chase the two cars ahead of him. Rossi with a very useful result, but his title hopes would be completely over, of course. He would need both Cardoso and Casella to retire from the race to have any chances into race number 2. The race keeps attacking Juan Angel Rosso for fourth place. A collision would mean a disaster for both of them. Go with Casella from sixth place. Now Cardoso has opened a second of gap to Matias Rossi, and he is a bit more comfortable. Let's see what happened here between Damian Fineschi and Rodrigo Baptista. They're down in 9th and 10th. Fineschi prevailing. But we see little action, as you can see. Here is Lionel Pernilla in third place, quite comfortable ahead of Juan Angel Rosso, who goes in fourth, closely followed by Reis and Juan Casella. In 1.2 seconds, he has not one but two opponents, as Matias Caraver is already up in 11th place. Ahead of him is his teammate Rodrigo Baptista, who is in 10th. Somebody who battled firmly for the standings and for the title in 2021. And this is how the standings would look like. It will be already down to Cardoso and Casella in the final race. In race 2, as Reis, Rosso and Rossi will be out of contention. So we have Pesini, I think it was Fabrizio Pesini, with some kind of trouble in 7th place. So we have Fabrizio Pesini. He is in trouble and he is stopping on track. And don't you say we could have another safety car. There is Fabrizio Pesini, the 2022 champion. It seems he has a puncture. We'll see where he can leave his car and would avoid us. And this could avoid a safety car. .11 minutes remaining, but I think that Pesini stopping there will save us from a safety car that would neutralize the race. Would be helpful anyway to see if this can take another twist. But the Argentinian, the 46-year-old, left the car in the inside of turn 1, and that should be anything but a danger. Last 10 minutes of the race. Cardoso keeps leading. Matias Rossi is in second. Lionel Pernier in third. As Juan Angel Rosso has dropped back a place, he was overtaken by Rafael Reis. But the gap to Lionel Pernier is a lot to be recovered in the last stages of the race. We have 12 cars remaining with the retirements of Gian Antonio and Pezzini. Nine minutes remaining and 20 seconds. Pedro Cardoso taking a clear advantage over Juan Casella towards race number 2. But any points collected by Casella would help him reducing the gap. As far as now, it will be 442 to 426, and it will be all down to both of them. Matias Rossi, Juan Angel Rosso, and Rafael Reis would be out of contention with these results, as there will be 35 points remaining in race number 2 for the winner. We have 40 points at stake in this race, but race 2 is a bit shorter. Juan Casella is there, followed by Gali Dosman. Casella lacking pace, actually, to contest Rosso. The last lap of the Uruguayan was 1:42.2. As Cardoso said, 1:40.6. Cardoso leading the race here. We go on board. The one that was leading the pack. Last 7 minutes of the race, and Pedro Cardoso has completed 10 laps, leading for 2.1 seconds ahead of Matias Rossi. Lionel Pernier in third, Rafael Reis in fourth, Juan Angel Rosso is in fifth. This is the gap that has been increasing. Rossi losing a bit of pace. Lionel Pernier is behind 3.8 seconds, almost 1.7 behind Matias Rossi. Pedro Cardoso trying to become the first Brazilian champion of TCR South America. Remember, we had Pepe Oriola from Spain in 2021. Then we have Fabricio Pezzini in 2022 from Argentina, and his countryman, the youngster Ignacio Montenegro from Argentina, with the last title in 2023. The 20-year-old that has lifted the trophy in TCR Spain the last weekend, lifting the title, and has enjoyed a very, very solid run in TCR Europe, finishing third overall in the standings. There's Matias Cravero chasing Baptista for ninth place. Cravero, somebody that could have been battling for a podium position. He's been very, very consistent since his very first moment in the series. Let's go on board with Casella. Manuel Casella needs to recover a few places. Any points he can get from now onwards in race 1 will be helpful. We see that Gali Dosman managed to reduce the gap to just half a second. The Uruguayan couldn't chase Juan Angel Rosso. And unfortunately for Casella, there is neither any kind of battle on track between anybody ahead of him that could give him the hope of a collision or something that could earn him a couple of more places. The last lap, the best lap of Juan Casella is 9/10 slower than the fastest lap of Pedro Cardoso. That might be a concern for race number 2. Matias Rossi locking up the brakes in here. The only one that could match the pace of Cardoso in a couple of laps. But in the last lap, Cardoso was 0.3 of a second faster than anybody on track. The only driver running behind 141. Now Pernia trying to recover a bit the pace. Running under 141. But then it's 141.2 for Rossi and for Reis. 141.4 for Rosso and 41.7 for Casella. And for Gali Dosman. Same for Matias Cravero, who was El Pernia trying to take another podium in his count, in his personal count. And Pedro Cardoso looking firmly heading towards another win. Juan Casella certainly suffering a lot. The compensation weight in this round. Enrique Maglione set to become TCR South America champion, as his opponent Fabio Casagrande didn't make it to the last round and he was already ahead. And it's also a big chance for PMO Racing that they could take the team's championship. 1 minute and 20 remaining in the clock. Standings untouched. Cardoso, Rossi, Pernia, Reis, Rosso, Casella, Osman, Fineschi, Cravero and Baptista. The top 10. Then Vivaco and Maglione closing the pack. Maglione simply needing to bring it home to celebrate the title. Cardoso trying to take his third win of the season. And Pedro Cardoso about to open the second last lap of the race. with 24 and 49 seconds. Now we will start the last lap in the next time we come across the main straights. And only now Cardoso has moved over 141. Intense pace, really big pace for his car, but Casella certainly suffering a lot. And I guess we'll see an attack as Osman drops back. Will we see any attack from Fineschi in the last lap to help Pedro Cardoso's quest? Could be Cravero here overtaking Osman. Osman certainly losing some places in the last lap. He's now down into 10th as he was overtaken by Fineschi, Cravero and Baptista. All together giving a really nice show, but all trying to protect Juan Casella. That is something that could change the picture for the second race that will start in a bit more than 2 hours. Of course, everybody's invited to join us. Pedro Cardoso, the 25-year-old from Brazil, wanting to celebrate his first title. He did clinch the TCR Brazil title. And it's now there is Cardoso now opening the last lap of the race. And now look at Casella bunching up the pack. In here, he needs to protect these places. The last lap is critical for the Uruguayan because it could completely change the prospects for race number 2. Juan Casella has Damian Fineschi behind, and it's Matias Cravero. He will try to go for Fineschi's place, and this is really mattering for the title battle, as these are the wingmans of the two candidates, Fineschi and Cravero. Matias Cravero, rough in overtakings, will try to go through and chase Fineschi, or at least prevent Fineschi from overtaking Casella. I must insist, this might have consequences for race number 2. Casella could lose 3 more points in case he's overtaken by Fineschi. Now they are in the middle sector of the track. This is turn 6 and 7. They are now heading to turn number 8. And that could possibly be one of the last chances. Oh, little contact from Fineschi to Casella. Casella has no more pace, and he has to defend with guts and nails in this last attempt. Oh, Casella losing positions. Juan Casella has lost a place. He will be protected by his teammates, I think. But that means that is 1 more place lost for the Uruguayan, and that's something this man will celebrate, because Pedro Cardoso arrives to the main straight and takes a crucial win for his title hopes. Matias Rossi will be in second, and then we will have Leonel Pernilla closing the podium in third. But Damian Fineschi will pay big tribute to his team with this 6th place, as this takes 3 more points away from the guy that will arrive in 7th. I'm talking about Juan Manuel Casella. There is Fineschi and there is Juan Casella in 7th. Then Cravero and Baptista. The last lap of Casella was 145.5. That was a massive drop in the pace of the Uruguayan. Apart from what he lost. This is the replay that could change the whole panorama for the last race. Fineski overtaking Juan Manuel Casela, but there was Cravero and Baptista protecting him. This is Pedro Cardoso. Here is the final classification of the race. Pedro Cardoso won ahead of Matías Rossi, Leonel Pernilla, Rafael Reis, Juan Ángel Rosso, Damián Fineski, Juan Manuel Casela, Matías Cravero, Rodrigo Baptista and Gali Dosman. Here's our winner, Pedro Cardoso, looking really confident for the next race, because he has 19 points of gap on Juan Casela. Celebrating with the mechanics of his team. And this man is the TCR trophy champion, Enrique Maglione. Shaking hands with Federico Punteri, promoter of the series.
Enrique Maglione, campeón del TCR South America.
Enrique Maglione, you are the championship. You are the champion. TCR trophy.
Muy contento de estar campeón, pero más contento estoy de correr en esta categoría, en este entorno y en todo este espectáculo.
I'm really happy.
Y bueno, ser campeón, sí, verdad, soy campeón sudamericano. Fabio no pudo correr la última, pero bueno.
I'm afraid
las
that
cosas se dan así y esto, como todo, hay que correr todas las carreras, sumar y sumar.
we have to be scoring every
Las felicitaciones, Enrique, vaya a disfrutar.
point possible and take part in every
Lo
race we
recibimos
can.
ahora Pedro Cardoso, el ganador de la carrera, nuevo puntero del campeonato. Pedro, la mitad del trabajo está hecho. Queda ahora la carrera número 2.
Pedro, you have done half of the job. You have to complete it now.
Exatamente, meio trabalho feito. Muito bom, a gente tinha esse objetivo. Bom, desde ontem
We completed our targets.
realmente sensacional nessa etapa. muito feliz com isso. Agora eu tenho que fazer conta, entender o que eu tenho que fazer para conquistar esse título. Enfim,
Now we'll do the maths to get the
situação
title.
muito boa e muito feliz. Agradecer a equipe, a minha família, a minha namorada, todo mundo que tá
Very
torcendo aí
thankful to
em casa.
my team, my family, my girlfriend.
Muy feliz, una carrera muy buena. No fue fácil porque Matías imprimió un ritmo fuerte en
It wasn't easy. Matías had a really
también
strong
tuvo
pace, Matías Rossi.
que empujar, pero bueno, al final estaba cuidando de tracciones y todo.
But in the end, we
después que
were taking
construí un
care
gap, era
of
solo manejar. Bueno,
the
mitad
gap.
del trabajo hecho. Ahora tenemos
Half
la
of the
segunda
job is
carrera, hay
done.
que hacer cuentas para mirar qué tengo que hacer. Pero bueno,
Yeah, we'll do the
muy
maths to
feliz,
see
no
what
quiero
we need.
festejar aún, pero feliz.
I don't want to celebrate
Vaya
yet.
al podio a festejar entonces Pedro Cardoso, el ganador de la carrera número 1 aquí en Rosario.
Pedro Cardoso, winner of race number 1 in Rosario. As we expected, it's all down to Cardoso and Casella. The gap is 19 points.
Patrofi sube desde Uruguay, el piloto de la escuadra Martino. En tercera posición, fuerte el aplauso para Leo Pernía, que sube. Piloto del PMO Racing con el Peugeot. Segunda ubicación para el misil, para Matías Rossi. Piloto del Toyota.
Here are the drivers. Pernilla in third, Rossi in second, Maglione as the TCR Trophy winner.
Pero antes, mejor equipo, recibimos el PMO Racing para felicitar también, para celebrar al mejor equipo de esta carrera número 1. Parte del PMO Racing, por favor. Y ahora sí,
PMO Racing celebrating the team championship. And our winner from Brazil, Pedro Cardoso.
Lo más alto del escalón, está primero en el campeonato. Va a subir Federico Punteri, presidente del TCR South America, a
We'll have
entregar
Federico
los
Punteri,
premios.
president of TCR South America.
Una carrera emocionante que tuvimos aquí, la primera del domingo del TCR South America en el Autódromo de Rosario. Felicitaciones para todos los pilotos. Vamos a hacer la foto ahora arriba, los trofeos. Primero los trofeos, la foto lo miran a las cámaras a capa, allá al fondo. Y ahora sí, el momento de la celebración de la fiesta del champagne. A refrescarse un poquito que hace calor. Fuerte el aplauso para los pilotos, los vencedores de la carrera número 1 de Rosario.
This is our final picture. Pedro Cardoso taking a crucial step towards a likely 2024 title in TCR South America, but of course we still have race number 2 ahead in a bit more than 2 hours.
Las felicitaciones para el piloto uruguayo que hizo un campeonato tremendo. Y ahora vamos a escuchar el himno de Uruguay en honor a Enrique Mayor.
Now the Uruguayan anthem for our TCR Trophy champion.
el campeón del TCR South America Banco BRB para la Copa Trophy. Otro champagne más que merecido para el piloto uruguayo, quien se queda también con la Copa Trophy del TCR Brasil. Y ahora vamos a recibir al equipo campeón del TCR South America Banco BRB, que hizo un trabajo excelente con todos sus pilotos, logrando el campeonato de pilotos. Recibimos aquí en el podio a todo el PMO Racing, campeón del equipo del TCR South America, con Damián y Oscar Finelli a la cabeza, pero con un equipo espectacular.
And this is PMO Racing celebrating the team trophy, the team championship. Oh, we hope that podium resists.
Y sube Pedro Cardoso también a celebrar con el equipo.
And Pedro Cardoso celebrates the team championship for PMO Racing. It was likely to happen in this race.
Banco BRB, equipo campeón. Un trabajo excelente a lo largo de todo el año. Y el himno de Argentina ahora en honor al PMO Racing.
The Argentinian anthem now for the team.
Felicitaciones a los campeones. El PMO Racing
Team celebrating
lleva la
the
Copa
championship with
Campeón
the
de
Argentinian
equipo más
anthem.
merecido. 12 del mediodía, carrera número 2 del TCR South America con la definición del
And
campeonato.
we will
Muchas gracias a todo el
meet
equipo,
again.
como siempre, que trabajan de una excelente manera.
This is the best of the race number 1. Comfortably followed and dominated by Pedro Cardoso. 40 kilos of compensation weight. Really playing a part. We have completed first round, the first race, and we have race 2 remaining. This was the best of the race. This was the battle towards the last. And this was the retirement of Fabrizio Pezzini, apparently with a puncture. And this was the battle that could be crucial towards the last race Juan Casella dropped back to 7th, and he would have dropped farther down in case he didn't have his teammates on the battle. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for race number 2 in a matter of a couple of hours. My name is Francisco Aure. Thank you. See you soon.